Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Chris. I'm your host, Chris. Today's a very special episode. This one's dedicated to, the tripod's not tall enough, so I have to either look up my nose or I have to crouch. Today's episode is, I'll just kind of lean against. Today's episode is dedicated to a very special brother of mine, my one and only, Adrian, who's turning older this year, as we do every year. Adrian's in a predicament where he can't simply go to places like the grocery store and get eggnog. What is going on? I just came from work, so I didn't do my hair or my makeup, but I didn't feel it was necessary. This is a cooking show, not a makeup show. Adrian can't go to the grocery store and purchase eggnog because he's in Japan and they don't believe in eggnog and Saint Nick or private health care. In order for him to enjoy the holiday treat, I can't figure this out. What do you want? What do you want me to do? I can hold it. To enjoy the holiday treat, he's gonna have to make it himself. I feel like I should be more in frame. Right? You want to get more? I don't know. As a birthday treat to him, I want to give him the skills to be able to make his own eggnog. So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna turn all of this into this. We've got our ingredients here. We're gonna need 6 eggs. Well, that's already too many. So let's just six eggs, half a cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Now the grocery store, they only had regular whipping cream. They didn't have heavy whipping cream. You can fix that. We'll just that's not gonna work. Pretend I'm writing heavy on there, and that fixes that problem. 2 cups of milk. You know, they're still putting missing children on milk. Half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Hopefully this ingredient is available in Japan. If not, good luck. A pinch of salt. I don't know if Himalayan salt. I'm not going to use that, but I'll use the other one. 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Ground cinnamon. Now, you might be surprised to know this is not like a major ingredient. This is just for topping, for flair. And then optional, some sort of alcohol. Let's move on to starting it, I suppose. This is a recipe that I came up with myself. What I did was I just clicked on the first result on Google for homemade eggnog, and then I kind of paraphrased it and made it my own. We just want the yellow, the yolk, not the whites. So I've never done this before. There's a technique to get the yolks. You don't make eggnog without breaking a few eggs. So this bowl is going to be for our whites, and I guess you can just catch your yolk like that. Oh, look at that. There's a double. Wow. Hey, you can't plan stuff like. How would I know there's a double yolk in that? That's a happy birthday Christmas eggnog miracle. Obviously you want to wash your hands first. You don't want your stuff from the wool mill getting into here. Really bad for eggnog. I did wash my hands before this, but I'm just saying, if you've made it this far and you haven't washed your hands, probably scrap the whole project and start over. Oh my god. We got double. Yeah, I'm sure some people have fancy tools for doing this, but the point of this video is anybody can make eggnog if they're in a tiny little apartment in Japan without a whole bunch of cooking apparatus. We're gonna have to whisk our half a cup of granulated sugar, and if you don't have a half or a cup measuring cup, go get one, because I don't don't know how to judge that without measuring that. So, you know, they say just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Makes you wonder what half a cup of sugar does. What kind of medicine do you need to drown out half a cup of sugar with? You might need to see somebody, a specialist, or, you know, get some help. I'm gonna assume that maybe my brother doesn't have a whisk, so I'm gonna try to do this with just a fork. Probably a whisk would work a lot better, but if you don't have one, it's probably possible to do this with a fork, so I'm gonna find out. So we just want to whisk until creamy. Maybe that's good enough. We'll find out. Either it is or it isn't, right? Next step on the stove pot, we want to put the 2 cups of milk. Yeah, a little more careful. 2 cups of milk. 1 cup heavy whipping cream. Half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Helpful tip. Little spoon, teaspoon, big spoon, tablespoon. The way that I remember these, you think like in size comparison, you know, how big is a table? Could be big. We're probably not talking about a doll's table. How big is a cup of tea? Pretty small. So small one's the teaspoon. So half of that somehow. I figure oh goodness. Was that half? Sure. A pinch of salt. Oh, maybe just opening that. That's grinding. Oh, yeah. Probably a pinch came out of there. I don't know if you saw that. Probably a little more than a pinch. And medium heat, and then whisk it or stir it. Again, we're going to use a fork because, you know, maybe that's the tool that we have. You want this to whisk until it's simmering. So it'll be here in a minute. Alright, so that took a really long time to get it to simmer, but now that it's there, we take it off the heat and move on to the next step. We're going to add the milk and etc. in spoonfuls to the eggs here, and then whisk in between. You might find a bigger spoon for that. There's always a bigger spoon. Alright, now we're actually going to put it back on the heat. And then here we're going to stir with the heat on until it starts thickening. So I don't know how thick this is supposed to be or get. And again, our whipping cream wasn't as heavy as recommended. And we're using a fork, not a whisk. But really, I'm not trying to gatekeep cooking here. I'm trying to make it ADA compliant and handicap accessible for left brain people like myself and left-handed people like my brother. So I'm just going to stir this a while. We'll see what happens. So I turned the heat up more. I've been stirring a lot and it's getting thicker. Alright, now that it's getting thicker, we're going to take it off the heat pretty soon. And then we're going to add our vanilla. At that point, if you wanted, you could also add in your choice of alcohol. 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Well, we'll run that. How's that looking? I don't know if it's supposed to be that consistency, but Never know until it's done. Or unless you've done this before. I haven't. So I'm learning right along with you. Just going to let it cool down a little bit. And then we're going to strain it into another container, which will then go into the fridge. It's like a chowder. Like a soup. Eggnog soup. I think that's why you strain it. Maybe we'll try a less thin strainer. Might have done something wrong. Alright, I have a plan B. Tastes alright. Now we're meant to cover it and put it in the fridge to chill. The my recipe said to use plastic wrap. I don't know if there's anything special about that, but I'm going to use that. Put it in the fridge and wait till it's chilled. It could consume some multimedia, do the dishes, I don't know. Alright, our eggnog is chilled. So, thought I might do a comparison about homemade and store-bought. These are the only two clear, same looking mugs, glasses, reservoirs, if you will, that I could find. So, let's see what we got here. It's got good bubbles. Huh. Alright. A little chunky. And this is store-bought. A little smoother. Let's see, I don't know what that's testing, but for science. So I have here homemade in my left hand, store-bought in the right. Moment of truth. Actually, that's like thick, but good thick. Could be a little colder. Maybe let it chill longer, and then store-bought. That's pretty runny. I mean, they're both good, which I'm really surprised. This one feels almost fluffy in consistency, but it's not chunky or chowdery. It's a good fluffy, almost whipped, one could say. This is, it's denser, runny, but good still. Hey, if you can't buy this, next best thing, make it yourself. To my brother, what I have to say is, happy birthday, bub. Cheers.